Okay, you guys, so I'm super late for this, but I had to jump in and just share this with you. Make sure you press your ear for this whole video because I definitely want your feedback. So I want to talk about the whole issue of Storm being played by Beyonce potentially in Black Panther 2. Yeah, I know videos came out about this 4 or 5 days ago, whatever. I'm not concerned really about that. I just wanted to share my thoughts and give you a chance to jump in, and you too if you're new here. So a couple of things I want to talk about here, whether or not Beyonce will actually be a good fit for Storm, but there's a bigger question than that we need to tackle. And then I'm going to give you some suggestions about some people who I think actually would make a pretty good Storm, honestly. So here is the issue with Beyonce. It is really what you've heard most people say. She just does not have the acting chops to pull off Storm. I do not think she is a good enough actress to do the role justice. That is my opinion, and apparently that's the opinion of most people because there was a little bit of an outrage when this rumor was going on. But there's an even bigger question here, or an even broader outlook here, and that is the importance of the character Storm. Now keep in mind, if you bring Storm into the MCU through Black Panther 2, you're talking about Storm. You're not talking about a fringe character. You're not talking about a little known character. You're talking about Storm. At one point was the leader of the X-Men during some of the comic book runs. So you have to bring her in proper. This is not a fringe character. So there are a lot of things to consider if you bring her into the MCU, not just the look, which I will grant that Beyonce has. She does have the look for Storm, but that's it. But you got to think more than that, because whoever this is that comes in Black Panther 2, presumably that's going to be your next Storm for however many long years. That's who you're going to have as Storm in the MCU. And there's so many things that might happen with that character. Who knows? You might get a spin-off, you might get a solo film. So whoever plays Storm has to be a really good actress, especially if she gets a solo film, because she's going to have to bring strength of performance to that role as the lead in the role. Can you see Beyonce being the lead as Storm in a solo film? You can't do it. She just wouldn't be able to pull it off. You need someone that's going to be able to give you nuance, from drama with comedic elements to a warrior class elements, all those different elements. You know who does that well? Gal Gadot does that well as Wonder Woman. Perfect example about what I'm talking about. Able to give you all the different things that you need from her, whether she's playing Wonder Woman or whether she's Diana Prince. Her performance is top notch. You need that type of person to don the role of Storm. And that's something that Beyonce cannot pull off. Just keep in mind that whoever they bring in is going to be Storm. That is the MCU Storm. So performance is really, really important. Now, let's talk about some people that people have suggested to play Storm that's not going to work. One name was Rihanna. Negative. She can't pull it off. She's not a good enough actress. Again, no disrespect to Rihanna. Love her voice. Acting, nah, she's not ready. Now, some people have suggested Angela Bassett, but come on, you guys, you can't do Angela Bassett. She's Black Panther's mom. You can't. She's already in the MCU. You can't recast her as Storm, so that's not going to work. You can't do Zoe Saldana. She's already in as Gamora. And I think it was Zazie Beetz. I always get her confused with Zoe Kravitz, but I'm pretty sure it was Zazie Beetz who played Domino in Deadpool. So you really can't bring her in as Storm either. You can't bring somebody in that's already been in the MCU and then turn them into another character, because one of the things that the MCU does very well is pretty much consistency across all of the films with who they have cast as certain characters. You really can't disturb that vibe if you want the coherency as the MCU goes through its different phases. So that's not going to work. So who are some people that I think actually would not be a bad choice for Storm? Some of these folks are stronger actors than others, but here are some that I think could actually do a pretty good job. I think Tika Sumpter could be a pretty good Storm. She definitely has the look. Her acting is okay. It's not great. It's okay. But I do think with development, she actually could pull off a pretty good Storm. And I think her acting is strong enough for her to actually carry the lead if we ever got a Storm solo film. I think Kiki Palmer could actually be a really good Storm as well. Some of you guys remember her in Akilah and the Bee. That's my favorite movie that she's been in. I think she would be great as Storm. I think she's got the look. I think that performance-wise, she's a really strong actress. I think that she definitely could pull off a solo film, but also be part of a team like X-Men. So I think that she could actually be really good for the role of Storm. Plus, I think she's young enough, and I also think, I didn't mention this before, but it looks like we are going to get a younger version of the X-Men, so I think that she would be a good fit there. Another person who I think would actually be good as Storm is Anna Diop from Teen Titans. I think that she, or Titans, I think that she would be good as Storm too. I think either one of those three would be a good choice for Storm, or at least to be on the audition end of auditioning for the character. Now, those are the choices that I would make. You guys might have some more. If you do, drop those in the comments below. Who do you think would be a good choice for Storm, and how do you feel about Beyonce? Maybe you like Beyonce. Maybe you think, hey, Al, you're being too hard on her. Honestly, look, I saw her in some things, and she wasn't that bad. Let me know what you guys think about that in the comments below. In the meantime, if you want to see more stuff from Dark Side Reviews, check them out right here. And I'll meet you on that next video. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button and that notification bell